Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Hey, welcome to this episode of the podcast. As always, excited with you here today. And I am jacked up a little bit, probably more than normal than I am usually than I usually am for this special guest we have on. Any of you guys listen to the podcast, you've probably, especially the Note Closure Show podcast, you heard me come back from Dallas a couple of weeks ago at the Magnify Your Wealth Summit, where we did an episode on adapt or die and how AI is changing the way that you guys should market. And you guys have overwhelmingly responded, downloading the episode, comments, stuff like that. So if you haven't listened to that, I'll put the link below for you guys to go listen to that podcast. It's really good. I walked away with some great nuggets and really excited about what I'm doing. But I wanted to make sure and get the AI Jedi, the man, the myth, the
Yeah,
legend, the guy who I learned from up there, but who's absolutely sharing with so many entrepreneurs, business owners, how to revolutionize your marketing strategy because marketing is changing. AI is having, I say, a very positive effect in a lot of cases and really equalizing, leveling the field if you're willing to adapt and do it. And as we come to the end of the year, you guys know that I always talk about, hey, turning your year into a 14-month year versus a 12-month year. And so I wanted to make sure and bring this guy on to share his nuggets with you, what you need to be doing, because if you're trying to do marketing the old way with pay per click and other stuff like that, or traditional search, it's not the same way. So our stud that we're having on here today is phenomenal. And just to share a little about him, he is, like I said, the chief bottle washer over at the a company. He's the founder of Y Rock Consulting, where he helps business owners, investors, and service professionals dominate, and you can
that's right.
dominate AI-driven search rankings in Google, AI overviews, ChatGPT, and voice search. So they're found first when it matters most. With over 5,000 entrepreneurs coached and more than 94 million, probably close to $100 million in client revenue, his work bridges traditional SEO, AI visibility, and real world results. So let's get you some good real world results in the new year. And we've got, like I said, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Cory Long. What's up, Cory? How you doing today, buddy?
Man, I'm gonna have to steal the AI Jedi. Like I've never that's the first time I've heard that one. I'm thinking, man, that's a brand right there, buddy.
That is, we could jump over to HeyGen and create a couple images real fast for the,
Yeah,
an AI and
that's
have you. I
right.
am the AI Jedi.
I'm the AI Jedi. I had an employee years ago and we were handing out business cards and we were trying to figure out what people's roles were going to be and all that. And I said, you can make up any, like, just make up your position, whatever you want to call it. Huge Star Wars fan. And so she had some kind of Jedi marketing, something. It's like her like thing. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on. This is so much fun. You and I were literally sitting in the audience few weeks ago. I pulled up one of our friends, his knowledge panel that we'd created for him, and boom, there's your podcast sitting up there on the screen. It's one of the main things that's showing right now for him. AI is changing the game, and as long as you're playing the game the way it's changing, dude, there's no limit to what you can do right now online. It's kind of cool.
It is totally cool. I mean, I was very lucky with my marketing. I worked with a guy, Roland Frazier, for
Yep.
about 4 years. Roland's a very smart guy and stuff like that
Yeah.
back in the day, just a little bit smart. And that helped me with marketing. But people always ask me, we dominate in our marketing niche because of the tricks that we use, but we're always constantly learning new
Yep.
tools, new strategies. And when I saw AI was coming out, I jumped on that train to really dive into not only creating content but quality content and the consistency of it to make sure to help. I mean, note investing is a kind of a small niche. Real estate in itself is a larger niche.
Yeah.
But when I see the comments and the people like, "Hey, man, now it's costing me like three times the amount for my lead gen or my pay per click," or I'm not getting any traction at all, I can't help but think that so many other people out there struggle with it because they haven't adapted to the new norm, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. We did so from that event, I had about 40-ish AI audits that I did. Out of the 40-ish AI audits that I did, probably 95% of those people still show up on Google pretty well.
Mhm.
But then when you go to chat, which is still dominant right now as far as the AI platforms go, if you go to chat or if you go to even AI overviews inside of Google, all three of those are giving different results.
Mm.
And so the company may show up well. I had a company earlier today that I was just, in fact, it was a guy from the event. I was talking to earlier. He shows up great in Google right now. Shows up number one for his Google business profile, shows up number one for his search results. You go to chat, he's non-existent. You go to AI overviews, which is owned by Google, non-existent. Another
Mm,
car wash that's not even in his town shows up for the best type of car wash that he has. So the biggest shift that I'm seeing, like I talked to a doctor last week in New York City from the event. She and I were chatting and she goes, I've seen literally decreases of 90 up to 90% on articles that I've written, other things that I've done out there online. And it's because people are searching, they're looking for whatever it is they're looking for. AI gives one answer, and if you're not the one answer, you don't exist.
hmm.
So you
Let's
better
talk
be the
about
one
that.
answer.
Yeah, let's break this down for those that maybe aren't familiar with some of the terms, stuff like that. If you're going to Google
Yep.
and you type in a question, it gives you the paid ads a lot of times. It used to give you like a video on the first couple, then you'd have the most paid ads is like the top three, right? And then you have the
Yep.
normal organic stuff below it. And people didn't realize this because we asked people during our online workshop this past weekend to go type something. And it was such a subtle change, they didn't realize that the change now with AI kicking in and giving them an answer,
That's right.
it's given an answer. And like you said, if you're not part of that answer, you really don't exist. It's like being on the second or you might as well be on the
That's right.
10th page of
That's
Google.
right.
Nobody's ever going to get to you, right?
They're showing right now that AI overview that's popping up at the top. So if you put any kind of qualifier in right now, so if you said best, top, professional, I don't know, whatever, right? You put any kind of qualifier in, that AI overview is going to pop at the top. And that AI overview right now is pulling data differently than Google pulls. Even though it's the same company, same everything, it pulls data completely different. It's pulling it from different source, different way. And when it pulls it in, people are literally stopping at whatever that is, that answer is, and they're not going any further. They're not clicking on the website. They're not clicking on the sources. They're just going, okay, that's the one. I'm going to go do that thing, whatever that thing is. And they're showing right now that probably 65% of everyone's stopping at that answer. That
Wow.
means that, yeah, like in right now, AI overviews probably show up. They're estimating because there's still a lot of data issues with all this, but they're estimating right now that they're showing up at least 40% of the time across all searches. They're saying by the end of 2026, we're probably talking 70-80% of everything will be AI overviews. I think at some point when you search on Google, it's going to have an AI overview, period. That's just the way it's going to work. And then I don't know if maps are going to be a thing still or not. And then you and I talked about this the other day. Guys, ads are going to start to show up now in AI overviews and in other places that you don't necessarily expect them to show up. And they're kind of testing them kind of sneakily where they don't even show up as an ad. They're not even going to show up as sponsored anymore. And I don't know. I'm very curious to see what happens with it. But bottom line is, whether you're a brand new company, you've been around 30 years. I was working with a doc that had been around for 30 years in Oklahoma. He doesn't show up at all across chat or any of those places, shows up great in Google. 30 years. So it doesn't matter if you've been around 30 years, then been around 1 month. Literally, right now, you have an opportunity to rank inside of AI just as easily as anybody else.
So I have noticed a trend over the last 3 months that when people book a spot in my calendar, like my talk with
Yep.
Scott Carson, when I ask, because that's one of the things, like, okay, it tells me what you want to talk about, but I ask people, so hey, how'd you come across my information? And most of the time, okay, it'll be, okay, across a YouTube channel or came across a podcast. But surprisingly enough, because I've said it to Steph here, I'm like, hey, this person said they came across AI for me. And I'm like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
And I would say 80% of them are on point with note investing or real estate invest. Everyone's a little bit off for the marketing side, but that's a very noticeable change
Yep.
in search. Now, I mean, obviously we crank out a lot of content. There's no doubt about it. But let's go to those folks. Like, what would you advise? Say that doctor around for 30 years, or somebody who's been a
Yep.
traditional fix and flip investor, or something like that, who's been just normal aspect of not really creating content. What's your best suggestions on what should they create or where should they start posting stuff that AI is maybe pulling some stuff as we speak now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, think about going out and getting a bunch of friends to talk about you. So podcasts like what we're on right now work great. Podcasts are probably one of the most powerful things because YouTube is cited almost 30% of the time right now across all platforms. So anything that you can get on YouTube is super powerful. Every single person listening to this needs to go get a about.me page set up. It's free, doesn't cost you a dime, real easy to set up. For whatever reason, AI loves it, and it'll give you credibility. You need to have a LinkedIn page. You need to make sure that you have all the things set up that you maybe didn't set up before because you didn't think you needed them. You need them now. And it's not just getting reviews on Google anymore. It's getting reviews on like even recommendations on Facebook, Yelp, anywhere that you can get a recommendation or a review right now is going to count towards AI. You've got to spread it out. It's no longer just about a Google business profile and about your website and about your social media. It's about getting a lot of content out there. So anything you can do out there online in your community, like if you can get, and this is the crazy part. If somebody comes and just mentions you as Scott and they connect Scott with notes, right, online, no backlink, no nothing. For AI, that's crazy powerful. For the old Google, didn't mean anything. So with AI now, it looks at that and it goes, oh, Scott must have to do with note investing, or it has to do with real estate, or it has to do with whatever, right? And so because it mentions it out there, AI will now pull that data in and it shows that data, whether it's in an AI overview or in chat, Perplexity, Grok, it doesn't matter. Pick a platform. They all pull content the same kind of way at the moment.
Yeah.
And so you want to make sure that you get content out there across a lot of platforms, and you want to make sure that you're getting mentioned by other people. So get on as many podcasts you can. Like if you're sponsoring something, get them to mention you. If you went to a school somewhere, or you're a part of any kind of organization in the community, get them to mention you. If you're at an activity, event, gala, it doesn't matter what you're part of. Get them to mention you and somehow connect it to your business. If you
Hmm.
can get those two things connected, it'll help AI to see you as the go-to person for whatever that is.
I love that because uh, I've already got the about me. I did that
Yep.
this last week on Thursday after we
Yeah, you
spoke
and I
on.
talked about that. Yeah.
Yep, we talked about that. I've actually been going back into all the different podcasts that I've been. I had my own Best of Scott Carson podcast, but
Yep.
I've been going in and tweaking the blogs I created for that, and then sending that separate blog to the hosts for
Good.
their YouTube and podcast, where they didn't do. Most people aren't doing shit with their descriptions. You know what I
Nope.
mean?
Nope.
And that's high. That's a high target environment based on what you're telling me, right?
Yeah, you literally can take. So think about this. AI can now see all of the transcripts inside of YouTube, right? So if you take a YouTube video that you've done, it doesn't matter if it's podcast or whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. You take a YouTube video and you pull the transcript, and then now you write a blog, you write a LinkedIn article, you write a Medium article. You come over here and you put it on your social media. Maybe you put it in a Q&A FAQ of some sort on your website or whatever. Like every bit of that content can be reused for something else now, and it creates credibility. And the more that we get mentioned out there, the better. Now, there's a bunch of technical junk on the back end that if you do all of these other things, schema data and all this other stuff, that it can create, like it can be like throwing jet fuel on this whole thing, which is what I did at the event. We were able to take over for the top speaker at Magnify Your Wealth. We were able to show up for AI marketing in Texas in like 3 days, and we didn't even rank at all for it before we went to the event because we were able to throw jet fuel based on stuff that we were doing on the back end of the website with all the articles, with press releases and other things that we were pushing out. And so it's kind of unlike what it used to be, where it was kind of really heavily targeted towards just Google. We really have to get a lot of content across a lot of things now to where we have credibility. And if you don't have any credibility, guys, you're gonna get lost. People are not scrolling, they're not looking, they're not going past. And I think ads right now, Google ads and all that are becoming way more expensive
Yeah.
because all these people are, you're not getting the traffic that you used to get. Like I'm talking to clients and they're going, we're down 40% or more, like 40% of your traffic. And so if they're down that much, they got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
They're spending on ads. Well, ads an auction platform. That just means that ads are going to be more expensive, right? So I would rather them spend it on SEO right now because you can rank in AI. You can show up in AI, but you better have somebody that knows what they're doing. Otherwise, it's just going to be a lot of wasted money.
Yeah, exactly. And I got a buddy, Kurt Molly, with Black Box Media here. He does a lot on Facebook ads and stuff like that for a
Yeah.
variety of different clients. One of the smartest guys when it comes to that stuff. Known him for years, and he was saying that was like the post that he posted about a month ago. He was asking if anybody else was seeing because they're basically having to quadruple
Oh,
ad
it's stupid.
budgets and then it's only getting up to maybe 50-60% of where it used to be.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing stuff like that. It's definitely interesting to see what's going to happen, obviously, as we come up on one of the most expensive days of advertising here with Black Friday taking place before too long and all
Yeah.
the ads that people like to throw out for classes and stuff like that too here shortly.
Yeah. I always debate every year around this time of year. Do I run ads? Do I not run ads? Do I keep them running and keep an eye on them? What do I do? Do I just let it ride and see what happens? I don't know. I don't know. Who knows what I'll do? But the thing people don't realize is the more money that's thrown into the ad base because it's an auction, that just means that everything's more expensive.
Yeah.
Now, what's crazy is the Andromeda update that just came out with Meta. That's what's driving a lot of this ad cost, plus the fact that people are having to figure out another way to get traffic, right? But if you this is what's stupid. I'm seeing guys go out there right now and they're putting out 40 to 50 different kinds of creatives on one ad set. It can be all kinds of creatives on the same ad set. That has never been the case ever. That's how AI is shifting things. And so you better know what you're doing with Facebook ads or you're just going to blow money.
Yep.
Google ads is no different. It's the same way right now. You better know what you're doing or you're just going to spend money for nothing. And if you're doing any kind of SEO type work, make sure you're doing like Google SEO, the old school SEO only affects Google. AI SEO, which is kind of what we were talking about at Magnify Your Well, the AI SEO will actually affect Google and AI. It's going to help both sides of that fence. But you've got to have enough, the velocity of the amount of content, the velocity of what you're putting out, there has to be enough. If you're not spending 1,500, 3,000, 5,000 a month on AI SEO, you're probably not getting anywhere. Like you got to have enough content in the right way, structured on the website, structured everywhere you're going to really make a difference, or you're literally just flushing money.
hmm So I have a bit of an idea here, knowing my audience, knowing what they're
Yeah.
talking about, some of the things that you've mentioned already. So, A, making sure their LinkedIn profile is completely up
Yes.
to date, and the
Yes.
about you is
Yes.
SEO rich with what they're really looking for and what they want to be known for, right?
Yes.
Creating short videos, long form content, and sharing that to YouTube and all the
Putting it
different others.
everywhere.
Share it everywhere, exactly, the different social media stuff. Transcribing those,
Yes.
turning those into three or four slightly different blogs, one short, one long, maybe a Medium ad or a LinkedIn
Yes.
newsletter ad, right?
Yes. Yes.
Um, Going and changing it differently for the YouTube description as well versus the audio. I know that I've instructed my staff to go through, like I said beforehand, going all 400 episodes that I've been on somebody else's show and creating different blogs and actually sending those to the people that had me on. And many of them are like, oh, thank you. That was awesome. I'd
Yes.
be glad to do
Yes.
that. That's going to help
Yes.
them and us
Yes.
because we can
Yes.
state that. And then you said before getting reviews. Well, it's kind of
Yes.
hard to get people to podcast reviews, but could you go and give recommendations on LinkedIn
Yes. Yes.
and ask for recommendations in return, right?
Yes. Yeah. Anything that you can get a review, recommendation, anywhere that somebody says you're great. Could be on Amazon. Maybe you wrote a book, right? It could be on Goodreads if you wrote a book. It could be like even on IMDb. Do you have an IMDb right now?
Not yet. That's
You
been on
should
the
have
list to
one,
get. I know.
right?
That's on the list.
Scott
That's on the
needs one.
list.
Scott needs an IMDb, right? And all if you're out there and you're
Yeah.
listening to this and you have a podcast, if you've done anything like that, you can get an IMDb. It's not that difficult.
Yeah.
But that has weight to it because it's a powerful thing. So think about anywhere that you can get somebody to say this is who they are, this is what they do, and this is why they're an expert at that. So that you can be an AI Jedi too, right? Like there's something to having powerful websites that have your content. But yes, reviews anywhere you can possibly get them. Trustpilot would be one of them I'd look at if you can get on that. Clutch is another one that you can look at, but it's way more complicated. You're gonna have to walk
Mhm.
through some steps with Clutch. It's a little more there's more stuff to do with it. But those are just a few things. Like you said, if you can just start with LinkedIn and start with like the things you already know, things that you already have platforms on. But you do want to make sure that everything's got your content the same way across it. So if you're going to set up LinkedIn, Yelp, and all those things, you want the things to be a variety as far as the descriptions and all that. You don't ever want to just copy and paste, but you want your name, address, phone number, email address, URL, all of that to be identical across everything you're doing. It all needs to have the same exact stuff so that it verifies who you are. So think about every time that you go in and you search anything on AI right now, it's trying to decide, is Scott Carson trusted or not? If he
Hmm.
is, I'm going to show him. If he's not going to be existent. Like he's not going to show at all. And if you'll notice with most of the AI stuff right now, at most it's going to show maybe three, maybe five tops. A lot of times it just shows one. And so we have a lot smaller window of success right now. If you, I mean, seriously, like
Yeah.
you're either gonna have success because you show or you're not. And they probably aren't gonna click through to your website. They're probably not gonna do that stuff. It's just not the patterns. And you're seeing people, they're talking to their devices more, right? This is gonna help them with voice search. All of those other things that have been kind of coming out the last few years. That's if you're talking to a device, I can guarantee you AI is involved.
Hmm.
It's just involved.
It
It's going to
is.
continue to change too.
Yeah, I totally agree to that because every morning I get up and I walk and I ask Grok to come up with articles or
Yeah,
ideas of news and stuff like that,
yeah,
and it lists the websites. It's the same thing if you're doing the Gemini search through Google and that stuff. It's going to give you the websites that pop up for it. And their blogs, their news articles, press releases, as you said
yeah,
earlier. Press releases have
yeah,
added new oomph to them than
yeah.
they were for a while. They were kind of nobody's reading them. No.
We didn't do press releases at all until this year. Like we quit doing them because they were a waste of money and time and energy. This year, you better be doing something. Somebody better be writing something about you somewhere. Even if it's you getting written up because like I used to be when I was the CEO of a children's home. I was in Wichita Business Journal. I was in the local newspaper. I was on TV locally. I was on radio stations locally. If you can get on any of that stuff, like that's going to be super powerful with AI. It's going to love you even more. And you got to have fresh content, which is great with like your podcast. You got fresh content coming out all the time, right? So if you don't have some kind of content machine of some sort that you're doing, you need to have one. Like there
Hmm.
needs to be something pushing content out consistently for you.
And it doesn't only need to be long form, hour long
No,
podcasts. It can be
no.
very short stuff that you can, 500 words or less in a lot of cases too, that can be relevantly
Yep.
easily kind of bite-sized chunks too, right? You said like FAQs and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah, and all that stuff can be written by AI. It's
Yeah.
not like you've got to go and spin up all this stuff. You know, when AI first came out, Google came out and immediately said, we're not going to accept AI content. It's not going to rank, blah, 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 blah. They quickly changed their mind on that because pretty much everything out there now is AI content that's getting put out there. And so you can take AI, when, especially with Gemini's new Nano Banana, man, you can create infographics. You can create all kinds of cool stuff with Nano Banana. Like
Hmm.
you could put me and you in a Jedi outfit fighting. Like we could have some fun with that and create imagery, right? That's totally realistic, looks really super cool, and the nice part about it is it can be done like that. Whereas
Hmm.
used to, it took forever to write an article and make this and do that. And so you could take one article now and spin it up into an infographic or two, and you could spin it up into a blog post, and you could spin it up into some kind of form social media post, and then you could do an FAQ. And if you could spin it up into all of those different forms, and I would suggest putting it across everything, even things like Pinterest that we don't think about, they are going to carry weight because again, it's looking how often is Scott Carson mentioned out there online. If he's only mentioned a few times, then he's probably not an authority.
Hmm.
But if he's mentioned a bunch about notes and real estate and this and that, right? Now all of a sudden AI is going to go, well, there must be something to this dude. I'm going to start to show his stuff more, and you're going to be the guy.
Hmm. And that's the thing to keep about what are you targeting? So we're targeting note deals. Like I said, I had a call with a guy this morning, came across me in chat or AI, maybe it was ChatGPT or something. Note investors selling notes, and I actually booked a phone call on my schedule. I had another guy looking to put his IRA to work, reached out to me, hey,
Yeah.
I came across your stuff that I'm looking to put money to work with you.
Yeah.
So We bring these up because I don't want you guys listening out there to be overwhelmed. Because yes,
No.
we just did a dump on
Yeah,
you.
we did.
But as we say, Rome was not made in a day.
Yeah.
And you could easily go over and say, okay, ChatGPT, give me the top 50 articles or 50 questions that people are asking about real estate investing.
Yeah.
Okay, can you write me a 500-word blog about this one? Okay, you got one. Okay, can you tweak this for a different 500-word blog on the same
Yep.
article, a different SEO title to share it from your Medium newsletter to your LinkedIn newsletter, and then a
Right.
different one to your video on the subject. So it's
Yeah.
it's writing one piece of content and then switching it up four, five, six, seven times.
Yeah. I'll give you guys a little hack.
Okay.
So, one thing that I've been talking to pretty much everybody about, I have an intern that I went to the local college.
Oh,
Every single marketing department, they're looking for internships because their students need them. They need an internship to have real live actual work being done before they graduate. Most of them have to have it to graduate. I hired an intern to be able to do that. She's amazing. She does all this stuff for me, 10 or 15 hours a week, and she can spit out reels and shorts and content. She can do all this stuff for me. She can create images and she can do all that stuff. Guys, you don't have to go hire some, massive thing. Now, if you want AI SEO, like true stuff, you need to go to somebody like me. You need to have somebody, there's only a few guys doing what we do in the whole United States that I know of right now.
yep.
So you need to go to somebody that knows what they're doing if you're going to spend the money that away. But for the other stuff, all this social media stuff we're talking about, start with an About Me page, get your LinkedIn updated, update all of your other social profiles, like what Scott was talking about earlier, get on YouTube and just start slow. Like start making sure that you're doing some content. Even if it's a piece a week, do something, right? Because most people right now don't realize how far ahead of the game we are. We're really at the very beginning of this. You feel like you're behind, but honestly, the fact you're listening to this right now, you're ahead. You're so far ahead, it's not even funny. And so you're ahead of the game. Just start with a few things, start working your way through it. And then as you start to get more and more pieces, you get more confident in what you're doing, you're going to have the same feedback. You're going to have people calling you going, "Hey, I saw you in chat because I was asking about da 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 da." Right? And then they're going to find you. And then before long, you're going to go, "Oh my goodness, I'm getting just as much money." And I'll tell you something that's kind of crazy. They're seeing the conversion rate from any LLM, any kind of AI platform, the conversion rate's through the roof because the people that are searching, they're actually looking for an answer. It's not some random search that they found you. They're looking for the exact thing that you're popping up for. So these guys were looking for note selling or note buying or whatever, right? They're looking for something very specific. And if they're finding you, guess what? They think you're the expert, whether you are or not, which we know all of these platforms still lie to you. So it's
Yeah.
like the more that we can get our content out there and the better we can show people, the more we're going to get that call. And the
Hmm.
conversion rate's through the roof. It's like 4.5 times what any other conversion is off of anything else that you do. It's craziness. So you don't
Yeah.
have to have near as many people see it. You don't have to have near as many calls off of it because your conversion rate's so much higher.
I would say that definitely because let's be the only person and then well, one of the few people in all of real estate. I don't know who all has it, but with us doing the AI clone of taking everything, and yes, a lot of the AIs will give some false information or AI gets
Yeah.
lazy when you're searching for stuff. But the clone being trained on all my videos, all my content, all my blogs, and then me being able to go back and edit the answers when they do answer incorrectly has made it one of the best secret weapons we have in the industry for
Yeah.
individuals out there to be able to go to that 24/7. And the fact that, okay, after 30 minutes, you got to put an email in gives us a whole conversion that's through the roof with those folks.
Yeah. The conversion rate, they were talking about the other day, I think it was something kind of nutty like number off of perplexity. There's a very, by the way, like if you look at Google right now, Google still owns 80 something percent of the search market when it comes to regular search. Chat right now owns 80% something like that of searching inside of AI platforms. There's still a whole bunch of other platforms,
Yeah.
Perplexity, Gemini, blah, 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 right? But they were talking about Perplexity the other day, and they were talking about how when people search on there, the rate of that person actually going to buy the thing was so high. It was like if you could show on that just for the few people searching for your thing, like it's almost a guaranteed sell. It's kind of nuts the amount of just conversion off of the things that they're doing just because people are and what's funny is you don't think about this until you think about it.
Right.
I was talking to a guy earlier today and he said, "You know what? I do that." He said, "I'm starting to search for things and as soon as I find the answer, I just go do the thing. I buy it, I do whatever it is, right?" And so people don't realize like next year, PayPal is now integrated with chat. And so what's going to happen next year is you're going to be able to go, you're going to get into chat, you're going to search for something, you're going to find a product, you're going to be able to buy it, order it, ship it, do everything right through chat. You're never going to have to go out of chat to do it. Just like if you were in Amazon or anywhere else, right? And so for all of the product people out there, if you're selling a book or you're selling some kind of a training or I don't know, whatever, if you're in the real estate space and you're doing any of those things, guys, you need to be thinking about this because this could be a massive marketing opportunity for you. Because right as of this recording, Amazon has blocked pretty much all the chatbots. And so Amazon's not showing up in ChatGPT. They're saying it's like a $58 billion hole or something. It's something crazy that it's filled inside of that gap right now. So if somebody's selling something that could be sold inside of chat, they have a huge opportunity because Amazon's not even going to show. It's not even going to pop up right
Hmm.
now. You could show up above everything. That's why I'm saying, like, it doesn't matter if you're new or old. It just doesn't matter. Like,
So I'm thinking like my sister and my brother-in-law do a lot with like Facebook Marketplace
yes,
and things like that. So like worlds, they could literally write an article on a piece like, you know, the most awesome Rod Carew Minnesota Twins jersey used that you could buy, something like that, and put it out there.
yep,
And if somebody's searching for that, there you go, it pops up available for it. Or get all, get your 12-piece Corningware set
that's
for a
right.
fraction of the price to drive engagement. Kind of like when you say this, it kind of reminds me of like what TikTok is doing
Yes,
with people putting,
yes. TikTok
videos,
stores.
clicking right directly into the app and going from
Yep.
there.
It's the same idea. And I think what you're going to see, Gary Vee's been like talking about this for a while now. He's
Yep.
like, look, if you really want a huge opportunity right now, go sell stuff. Like the lady that was in, they were talking about the lady that's in China that's showing something every like 5 seconds or whatever, and she's selling, I don't know, millions of dollars. I don't know, something crazy. And she literally just picks up something and drops it, and she picks something else up and drops it because people right now are it's just the world is changing, and if you don't change with it, man, you're gonna miss a huge opportunity that's out there, and it could be something simple like what you're talking about with your family, like it could be something super simple that they're selling products or whatever, and at some point, there's going to be a store, there's going to be all these things that are going to be integrated and it's happening at a pace that's crazy. Like changes are happening weekly, changes are happening daily, and there's no way to keep up. So you just do your best. You keep up with as much as you can, and you're going to be way ahead of the other. If you just do what we just talked about in this podcast, if that's all you do, you're going to be so far ahead of all the other people that are out there right now that's in your industry. I don't care what industry it is. There's nobody doing this stuff. There's just not.
And that's what we signed because when you look at American, Association, was it the American Marketing Association stats? 80% of sales comes after the fifth contact or stuff like
Yeah.
that. Um, it's this multiple. That's a multiple touch without you having to touch them. The
Yes.
AI is and chat's doing that touch for you. But it makes me think when you were talking about, I was thinking about Pat Flynn. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? From
Yeah.
the passive income show, but how he has dominated the market when it comes to uh Pokemon, and
Yeah.
now he
Yeah.
has his whole
Yeah.
card party three
Yeah.
times a year with his episodes.
Yeah.
I was at a chance to go to one in Tampa a while back, and I was blown away at that. But it's the whole he's leveraged it with the ads and what he's selling
Yes.
and all that
Yes.
stuff. It just was mind blowing to think about it.
I have a
Um,
buddy that has a vending machine right now. He does vending machines for Pokemon. I'm like, are you kidding me? And he makes almost a full income. He does ministry work. This is just like a pay for kids and stuff and vacations. But he almost makes a full income from these vending machines for Pokemon cards. I'm like, are you kidding me? I had no idea.
that would be you could do. I could see you could do like NBA, NFL,
Yes, yes,
baseball,
yes,
Pokemon, and have just a whole different role. Like you're going to the snack machine at a hotel, but doing it at like Disney or doing it at like Universal Studios or something like that in the hotel because
Yes.
they the kids will spend it. I worked one summer. I worked at the Jay Novacek football camp up in Commerce, where I was playing college ball at East Texas State back in the day,
Yeah.
and I saw kids spend more money on cards. One kid go through a $700 allowance he had for the whole week, blew in like 2 days on cards
Yeah.
because they were available. But yeah, wow, and that's the thing though,
There's
so much.
unlimited opportunities with all this. And I think that's where you've got to pick a lane, right?
Yeah,
You know, your lane is this.
yeah,
Like I know right now, I'm pretty much going all in on AI as far as AI search, AI traffic. We are dominating for things right now that have to do with our clients. We're setting up knowledge panels. We're doing the whole thing, right? Because we're looking at it going, okay, we know if we establish them right now, they're going to be so far ahead of everybody else that it's going to
yeah.
take so long and so much effort and so much money that these people are not going to want to even try to catch up because we're just going to be that much further ahead of everybody else. And so if you know your lane, this is the time. Just get in and start to take over piece by piece by piece until you look up. Before long, you're going to be so far ahead of everybody else. And the basics are the same. We still want to do our Google stuff. We still want to do the same stuff we've done for years. And we want to do this other stuff on top of that, just to kind of supercharge everything that we're doing.
Hmm. Uh, I have a question I want to ask you because you wrote an article prior to Magnify Your Wealth, prior to speaking for the first time in Dallas, and you ranked as what one of the most dynamic speakers of Magnify Your Wealth, right?
Yeah.
So if you've spoken at other events, should you go back and create an article about why you're one of the most dynamic speakers and pick three or four other people who've spoken in the past or on the
Yeah.
current
So
aspect of
think
things?
about this. This is what I've been thinking about. Let's say you're a speaker like Amanda or one of these other speakers that were at Magnify. And these, by the way, there were people at that Magnify event that had way bigger audiences, way more pull, way more authority than I have. Like Aaron that ran the group,
Yeah.
the Jake dude. I mean, that guy was like a rock star
Oh
showing
yeah,
up
the
there.
whole XRP guy. Yeah, I mean he was
Yeah, he
definitely
had
up there
his
with
whole like
the
entourage
yeah,
walking
80
in with
people were
him.
there just because he said go. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. And so these guys were way more authority than I have, and yet we ranked as the top speaker at this event with my face, my name, my pictures all over everything. Think about how you could arbitrage every event that you go to, every activity that you're involved in, everything that you're doing in your business, in your city, especially from a local level, guys, you could literally dominate as the fix and flip person. Like if you think about all of these TV shows and all this stuff that are going on for fix and flips and this and that and notes and selling and buying and blah, 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 right? All these things that are going on, you could become the guy or gal in your area very easily right now, just with just some little AI magic, right? And that's what we did. So you could go in and take over every event, every activity, everything that you're doing. We're about to meet with, and it's kind of funny because I talk to people about this and they're always like, yeah, 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 I want to do it. I want to do it. The KW group that's here, they're some of the top realtors in our town. And I went and spoke to them and taught them some stuff. I'm looking for speaking gigs right now. Like I'm like, please, I want to come, I want to teach this stuff. I'm going to be launching a course for it and all kinds of stuff. And they told their regional director, and the regional director is like, you need to come talk to our regional people because they know that and you see this all across real estate right now. For the most part, the amount of teaching and training is so simple. It's like, hey, here's how to write a prompt. Great. That was like 6 months ago, guys. Like, how to write a prompt is, I don't even know, it's 6 months. It's all old news, man. Like this is
Yeah.
all old stuff that people are so far advanced from that right now in the marketing world that if that's where you're at, which that's what they were teaching them at the last training that they did. I walk in the door, I show them some very basic stuff and I said, "Look, you could become the realtor and realtor group in all of Lubbock and you could control everything that's on AI overviews and Google right now. Do you want that?"
The answer to that is hell yeah. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Yeah.
right? I mean, even in Austin right now, guys, it doesn't matter how big the city, small the city, it does not matter with AI. You could take over right now in your marketplace for what you do, no matter what it is that you do. You just need to have the right pieces of the puzzle in place.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
That's
kind of
so
cool.
much. It is so cool. So I got to ask here. This is the thing. How do people get connected with you? Do you have a class on the schedule? You know, I'm, I got a little bit of a broner. I told Megan that when I heard you get out there, I'm like, I'm pretty excited about this guy. I'm not turned on, but I am mental
Oh,
wise here because you're speaking the same language. But so how do
yeah.
folks take advantage of what you're teaching, or how do they hire you guys with Rock Consulting, or how do they get the
Yeah.
thing going?
Yeah, you can go to yrockconsulting.com. That is just my name backwards. It's YROC That's the easiest way to, if you wanted to hire us to actually do the work, that's kind of done for you. That's one bucket that you can do on, I don't know when this is going to air, but in December, I'm going to be launching a training for AI search. We're actually going to do it week by week live as I launch it to be able to help people to understand this. By the way, normally I would only launch a training. I have over 2,000 students around the world in another training course that I have. They're all marketers. Normally, I only kind of teach marketers how to do this kind of stuff. Now I have all these people coming to me saying, "Hey, I want to learn how to do this for my own business." And I'm like, "Great." So, this training is going to be more geared towards you, Scott, or somebody that's doing it for their note business or their marketing for their real estate company or whatever it is. So, we're going to launch that in December. I'm going to teach AI search. It's going to be the foundational pieces of how to do that. And then, of course, we'll offer some done for you services if they want them, or they can go do it themselves, whatever they want to do. So it's kind of more of a done with you. I'm going to teach you, train you, that kind of thing. I also have been asked a lot lately. I had a company recently come to me and say, "Hey, they're a financial company." And they're like, "Could you be our CMO?" And I'm like, "Well, I own a bunch of other businesses. Like the marketing is just one thing that I've done. Like I
Right.
built and sold an epoxy company, and we have a couple of training businesses, and I have a bunch of other business. So we do a lot of different things. So I'm an entrepreneur at heart. That's kind of what I do. And so if you're out there and you're looking at anything and you're like, "Hey, could I just want you to come in and like consult, teach our staff how to do this?" I do that too. We've done that many times and taught staff. And so if you have an internal marketing team or something, you're like, "Hey, we want to bring our marketing team up to date." We're in the middle of the mess. Like we're down in the weeds. I mean, your head was a nodding like crazy through my talk, and I was excited about it because everybody else I felt like was deer in the headlights. You're
Yeah.
like one of two people in the whole room that kind of got it,
Hmm.
because you saw what's changing and you saw the opportunity, man. You literally can become around the world right now. Somebody somewhere else could see Scott Carson and the notes, all the stuff that you do. Like you
Yeah.
you literally could show up somewhere else in the world on chat right now just because of the way chat works, right? Just because of the way these other, and people don't realize like there's what, 9 something billion searches a day on Google. Guys,
Yep.
I think there's like 3 billion already on chat.
Yep.
It's growing at a pace that is crazy
It is exponentially every day. You know,
every day.
my buddy Matt Wolf, who started a YouTube channel about a year ago about the different AI stuff, and now he's paid by every major AI platform to review their stuff. And every
Yeah.
week he sends an email out, and it's literally like 30, 40 different things of all the different changes across the different platforms. He's having a hard time keeping up with just the little tweaks and changes and
Yeah.
the evolution and stuff like that. So, you know, if you're scared of this is not the Terminator where it's going to take over the
No.
world. This is not. This is how you can take over your world, your competition. And that's the thing that's helped us dominate for years is a lot of our senior competitors are senior. They're not doing anything new.
Yeah.
They're not involved in it. When we do a survey of people for our different classes and workshops, we always ask, hey, when was the last time and how often do you send an email blast out to your database? Oh, maybe once a month, once a never. Well, that tells me if you're not going to even do an email to your warm market, you're probably not producing any content
Yeah.
whatsoever. And
Yeah.
this is the way I've always said take one piece of content and use it 8 to 10 different times across different platforms. It's that little stuff. It's that Johnny Appleseed type of marketing where you can dominate the world, dominate your market, city, state, whatever you want to be by just a little bit each day, get rock and roll. And you gave some great recommendations there. So it's Y Rock Consulting, YROC or Cory spelled backwards,
Yes.
yrockconsulting.com, right?
Yeah. And we, guys, just so you know, and I'll do this for anybody. I did this at Magnifier Wealth. I'll do this for you guys too. If you guys want a free AI audit, reach out to us through that website or just find me on social media and say, "Hey, I heard you on Scott's show. I want an AI audit for my stuff. We'll do a free AI audit for you. I went through it with Scott. I think it was pretty thorough. You
Oh
said you
my
were kind
gosh, it
of
was
shocked at
great.
some of the stuff.
It was great. I'm so glad I recorded it too on Zoom so I can go back to it. But literally, I got like one, two,
Dude,
three.
it's a lot of content.
I got a lot of like five big stars, three things I've already put in there.
Yeah.
We already started a new Medium blog for things.
Yeah.
You know, the IMBD. I realized I did have it, but I hadn't updated in a while. My podcast was being uploaded to Amazon already. You
Good.
know, so it's just
It's these
there's
little things. And
little
so
things.
we'll do a full AI audit with you on your business. Like that's just, and it's eye-opening because we're seeing what Google is pitching or throwing out there right now. And you got to realize like chat free services pull from Google, chat paid services pull a lot from Bing. Like it's just you got to know the nuances of what's happening right now.
Mhm.
If you don't, you're gonna get lost in the minutia, and then before long, you're not gonna be seen anywhere.
Yeah. Well, let's get you seen. Let's have you become your own Jedi Master, whatever niche
That's
you want to do
right.
there for you.
That's
So,
right.
Cory, this has been phenomenal, man. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing these insights. We're going to have you back on at
For
another
sure.
point. And I already have a couple ideas, speaking gigs for you as
Sign me
well.
up.
Will do. Will do. We'll talk offline here in just a second once I finish hitting the record button here. So, guys, go out, take some guys and gals, go out, take some action, listen to the show, reach out, get that free AI audit for you. It is so eye-opening, so valuable. Especially, I've had people say they were so scared how little they had because they weren't doing anything, and then when they realized the little things they started doing that Cory talked about, exponential growth,
Yeah.
exponential traffic, and that's what you're looking for. Go make your 2026 more profitable, but get ahead of the curve and do what he's doing now. So go take some action, and I guarantee we'll see you at the top of search. All right.